Nits Andrei with a speech entitled An Unfortunate Aphorism.
Imagine that you are wandering around a graveyard. You can see the alleys, graves, flowers, candles, and so on. However, there is something peculiar about this cemetery. All gravestones have, besides the names of the deceased, the dates, or a small cross carved in marble, also a score from 1 to 10. Here you see a 7, behind it lies a 550, and oh, a 995. Then, far in the back, behind an overgrown hedge, hides a series of rotten wooden crosses marked with numbers below 5. This is how I imagine things would be like if life really was an exam. A real exam is something that the candidate either passes or fails, and it's an examiner's or a commission's job to give a score to his work. Now, admitting that I am the candidate sitting this exam, the exam of life, please tell me, who are the examiners? My parents? My friends? Or maybe society in general? God? And also, could I please know on what basis I will be marked? On my money? My religion? If I fast on Fridays and go to church on Sundays? If I have a lot of children? Moreover, is this exam the same for all of us or not? Let's suppose that a 102-year-old man has 50 children and grandchildren, while another one is a great inventor but has no children at all. I am asking you, which one succeeded better in his life? Further on, imagine that an Orthodox fundamentalist who has always respected the 10 Commandments and has never sinned in his entire life arrives at the gates of heaven. But St. Peter doesn't let him in. You know, St. Peter says, only the Mormons were right. Does this mean that more than 99% of the world's population failed the exam of life? My point is that life is as much an exam as that game where you have to guess a number. Do you know it? Quick, tell me a number from 1 to 10. 7. You're wrong, it was 8, I win. See? Any exam can be passed if you are really willing to, but life is more like a game of chance, as nobody can tell you precisely who will examine it and how. Life is not an exam, therefore it must be quite sad to think so. Not knowing what matters in the end, one would try to satisfy everyone, but we all know that that is impossible. However, I could somewhat agree with those who consider their lives to be successful if they have reached a personal goal. For instance, I know somebody who is convinced that his life is perfect now that he finally bought a big BMW. I'm cool with that if he's happy. People can judge him all day while he won't even notice, as long as for him only that car counts. Because everyone deserves to live the life they want without worrying about others' judgment. We don't have to prove anything to anyone except ourselves. That is why the statement, life is the most difficult exam, is a platitude, a simple yet unfortunate association between two terms based on the fact that both are rarely easy and that life takes, well, a lifetime. So how could I ever agree with something that I strongly disagree on? You may ask me, so what is life after all? I feel that it is the accumulation of experiences and aspirations that define each one of us as individuals different from the others. Up to this point, my life experience consists mostly of years of routine, school, homework, and sleep. But the holidays that I enjoyed, the friendships that I've made, the people and things that I love, and of course everything valuable that I've learned are the most important. I say that I've had an amazing life until now, and provided that luck doesn't forget me, years to come seem fortunate. I do not care that I'm not a model Christian as long as I don't do any harm to others. Or, if I will never appear on the cover of Forbes magazine, will I not consider myself an accomplished person? I refuse to believe that the period marked by a line between the date of birth date of decease on our future gravestones will be remembered as success or failure. What I wish is that the people of tomorrow knew that we've reached our goals during our lifetimes, and we were proud of it. The rest is not important. Thank you for listening.
Questions, please. Try to be more active, please.
If you could sum up your speech in, let's say, 10 seconds, what would you say?
Everybody lives the life he wants to live, not the life others want him to live. Each person has his own reality, each person has his own goals to reach, and he should reach them.
Thank you.
Other questions, please.
I'm sure you've thought long and hard about this because it's such a generic question in reflection of your speech, but could you share with us a few of your personal goals?
My personal quotes. If you refer to something that was mentioned in my speech, then in that case it would be we don't get a grade for our lives. If it's something that I didn't mention in my speech, is that I do not wish for others to be in charge of assessing my life. Each one of us assesses his own life and may assess others' life, but that doesn't imply that person should listen to the assessment. I hope I answered the question. Yeah.
So, what do you think happens to a person if he isn't able to reach his goals before he passes the line, if we could say this?
As I do not know what will happen after we die. In fact, nobody knows. There are thousands of theories, but nobody knows for a certainty. A person who didn't do anything that he sincerely wanted to do in his entire life, practically, if I may say, wasted his valuable days that he had. I do not know what will be after death. So that is why my sincere opinion is that we should live our lives, do the most we can in these few years that we live, because, of course, many believe in life after death, but it is not a certainty, and we do not know how this life after death is, in fact. So we must take advantage of all the good things this planet offers us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.